Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zhani. If you're new here, please like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, follow me on Instagram. It's in the description box down below. If you're not new here, thanks for coming back. So basically my whole channel, I guess, is about my life and like what I've been up to and the things that I've been doing. And so right now, obviously it's college season, applying for colleges. So a lot of schools, I don't know if it's all schools, I know the Ivy Leagues, they're doing college interviews. It's like college interview season, and it's basically where alumni from whatever school you applied to, if they are doing interviews, like an alumni in your area reaches out to you. And usually when there wasn't COVID, you would go and you'd meet up at like a coffee shop or somewhere local because the alumni lives in your area. So like it's not that far, you guys can meet up, and that's kind of how your interview goes. But since COVID, it's all been online. So you either have phone calls or you have like Microsoft Teams or Zoom or like different kind of video chat meetings. So I've had my Upenn interview and I've had the Stanford interview. Obviously I was nervous for both because you're like, I really want to go to like one of these colleges, and I thought this could have something to do with me getting in. That is not true, by the way. It's just kind of like a check off mark, like you get a box checked off if you have an interview. I think it's only supplemental. It only kind of can help you. It's in order for school to learn more about you and to get to know you separately and to see how you interact. So it's basically a conversation. So it's nothing to really worry about. It's not an interrogation. You don't have to answer like crazy questions like, oh, what's your GPA? What did you get on your math part of your SAT? It's nothing like that. It's just like, oh, what have you guys been up to this past year with COVID? How have you taken like online schooling, and do you like it? Has it changed your views on school in general and what you want to do? First off, I'm gonna start with how I prepared for these college interviews. Obviously you have to apply to the schools, and then not every single school will reach out to you for an interview. I think it's kind of like you put a whole bunch of names in a bowl and you pick one. It's not like every single person gets an interview, and it's not that everybody who's getting accepted gets an interview. It has nothing to do with that. Just because you get an interview doesn't mean you get accepted, but it doesn't hurt. So I suggest taking the interviews and doing them if you get the opportunity to. The first thing I did, honestly, for me, I didn't like to prepare way too early because I didn't want to psych myself out. So I just Googled common college interview questions, and I looked up a lot of them, and a lot of them have to do with, oh, what do you do outside of school? What do you do to keep yourself busy and things like that. So it's basically just knowing, oh, so what do you do outside of school that keeps you busy? Like me, I'm doing YouTube right now. Like that could be something that I say. Like it doesn't have to be extracurriculars like, oh, I play basketball or I play soccer. It doesn't have to be, school related. If you're like on a school team, it doesn't have to be things like that. It can just literally be anything like, oh, I sit and read. Oh, I've been binge watching this new show on Netflix that I'm like crazy about, like anything. They just want to get to know you, not know who you are on paper in your application. And so after I would Google the basic questions, I would go and I would Google questions specific to that school. So I know for UPenn, they didn't have like a lot of questions on what the interviewers would ask you, but Stanford did. And it's really good to look those up because you know what? You don't want to have, your answers word for word. You don't want to memorize a script because that comes off as ingenuine. So you want to have like a basic idea though of what your answers would be. So that's why you do practice and you do read over the questions so you kind of have an idea of what your answer would be. So let's just say somebody asked you, what was your favorite memory from your freshman year of high school? That would take a few minutes to actually think about an answer for that. So, if you find those questions early on and then you kind of write out an umbrella answer, like you had to act out a scene from whatever book this was or whatever that is or something like that, you would have some type of answer in your head. So you're not just like drawing a blank and having to take like 10 seconds, 10 minutes to come up with an answer. It's like this. And then because you have a thing that you want to talk about, you're able to actually start talking about it and continue the interview and get to know the interviewer, and they can get to know you. So it really is a conversation, and they do ask you some questions, but honestly, if they ask you something and you're having a good time talking about it and then you kind of get into a conversation with whoever you're talking to, it's actually kind of comforting. So I was really nervous. I thought it was going to be like, oh, them asking me, what's your application? What is your major? Like specific things, but it wasn't like that. They didn't do that. They were just kind of chill. So it was really nice. With that being said though, they don't receive anything about your application. They just know your name and I think your birthday. They know like really basic stuff. They don't know what you applied for. They don't know anything about you. And I don't even think they really Google you before. You should not Google who you get before. Like don't Google them. Don't look them up because that's only gonna make you nervous. If you see like PhD, MD, this and that, it's gonna make you nervous and it's gonna throw you off because you're gonna be like, I have to be like this or I have to know this, and it's It's not worth it. They're just normal people. Another thing that I would like to point out is that you should walk into the interview having like a basic idea of what the school is like. So for example, I'm just gonna use Upenn. I applied to Upenn. I know it's in Pennsylvania, but I didn't know too much about the school. So before, what I did is, you know, whatever major you apply to, you should look up the program. And you should look up clubs that have to do with your major that you want to go for. And if you don't have a major and you're still undecided, then, you know, you can just still look up clubs. You can look up things around the area. You can look up the different things that the school offers. So if the interviewer asks you a question, they're like, oh, why do you want to apply to this school? Like, not just for the academics or like things like that. You can be like, oh, for me, like they have a really cool criminal justice club. Or if you're undecided, they have a lot of pools or anything like that has to do with the actual campus or the area, so they can see that you know, or you have an actual interest in the school, because they wouldn't want somebody to apply and then let that person in who has no interest or actual motivation to go to that school. They want people who want to be there, because then that takes away from somebody else who did want to get there but didn't get accepted because you took their spot. And it's, you know, so if you actually show an interest that makes them more interested in talking to you, and it makes whatever they write down or checkbox or whatever comments they put that the people go over when they're looking at your profile or your file, it makes it better. And at the end of the interview, the interviewer will ask you what questions you have for them. It doesn't have to be school specific questions. It can be basic ones like, did you actually enjoy going to that school? Is there anything you wish you knew before you started college? You know, if you really don't have any questions, just ask them something basic so you can hear their experiences, so you can find out, you know, if there's things that they wish they did or that they wish they didn't do before they started or while they were attending school. So it's just good to listen to others' experiences so you can kind of learn from it or take some advice from them or different things like that, because you know what, it's not gonna hurt you, to be honest. So basically what you can take from this is that, you know, don't be nervous. Google common interview questions, Google college interview questions specific to the school you're applying to or you have an interview for. Have an idea of what your answer will be, but don't memorize it. Don't be nervous. It's just a conversation. It's not gonna ruin everything. If you literally don't know what to say the entire time, it's not gonna be that bad, to be honest. You're gonna be fine. You know, it's like 30 minutes at most. You're gonna kill it. Yeah. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. I think that's it. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, follow me on Instagram. It's in the description box down below. Good luck on your college interviews. I have no idea what year you're gonna be watching this, because I don't know if interview season is over right now, but whatever. Hopefully you get into the schools you applied to. Yeah.
My hair, it don't move. My hair, it don't move. It don't move. My hair, it don't move. You hear what I'm telling you? My hair.